Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I live in the Villages, Florida. Every week, I take a look at what's happening in the real estate market here. I discuss Central Florida and the real estate market in general, but I focus really on the Villages. And for those of you who don't know, the Villages is a 55 plus community. We do have younger people here, but we have championship golf courses, executive golf courses, live music in four town squares every night of the week, including holidays, recreation, shopping, dining, and I think over 3,000 clubs currently. So, whatever interest you may have, you'll find people who enjoy it too. If you want to know what's happening in the real estate market here, this is the show for you. I will show you long term trends on prices, price per square foot, where in the villages homes are selling, where the activity is. And if you watch the show, you really will have a good idea as to the state of the real estate market here, and you can form your own opinion as to how good a time it is to currently buy or sell here. I've also divided the villages into four geographic areas so that you can see the differences between them. I produce the show every week. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. This is the show for you if you want to be informed about real estate here. A couple of things to note. The Villages has two separate real estate marketplaces, the MLS and the VLS. The VLS is the Village's own internal real estate marketplace. It is the only place where you will find new homes for sale, but pre-owned homes are available for sale on both the MLS and the VLS. If you don't have a broker who is showing you properties on VLS and MLS, you will not be seeing about half of the properties currently for sale here. Similarly, if you're a seller, you need to decide whether to list on VLS or MLS. If you contact me, I'll be happy to give you reasons as to why one or the other might be better for you. If you want to reach me, please reach out to either DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have. Also, if you find this information valuable, please consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. Really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you're a buyer and you're looking for a good deal here, I think you'll find that our approach will help you find one. And if you're a seller, our approach can help you justify the highest reasonable asking price that you could expect to receive. Once again, if you need to reach me, I can be reached either at DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening to the Villages real estate market this week. We start every week by taking a look at interest rates. Since real estate is generally financed, the cost of money, i.e., the interest rate, should and will ultimately have effect on the value of real estate. What you're looking at here is the yield on the US 10-year note. The 30-year mortgage most closely tracks this yield. And you can see 4 years ago, we saw a low in the 10-year yield of 0.398%. And over the next 2.5 years, that 10-year yield rose to 5%. We've been hovering around there for the last year or so. We're at the higher end of the range now at around 4.2%. The US still has a huge borrowing problem. The amount of interest we're paying is becoming uncontrollable. It's hard to imagine how interest rates can move lower in an environment like that. Here we look at a shorter time period. We're looking here at the last year, and this is the 30-year mortgage rate. You can see that since the Fed lowered rates in September, mortgage rates basically went straight up by about 1%. They've come back a little bit since then, but if you want to know what's going to happen with mortgage rates, watch the 10-year yield. I'm going to start by orienting those of you who might not be familiar with the villages as to where we are. We are in Central Florida. We are about an hour north of Orlando and about an hour and a half south of Gainesville. And we're about an hour to an hour and a half away from the ocean and beaches on both coasts. The maps you're looking at are showing you all current active listings on the villages MLS. The size of the circle is the size of the property, and the color of the circle is its price per square foot. The larger the circle, the larger the home. The brighter the circle, the more expensive per square foot. Conversely, the smaller the circle, the smaller the home, and the darker the circle, the lower the price per square foot. I'm going to zoom in on Lake Sumter and switch back and forth between price per square foot and price you can see that price per square foot does indicate properties that may be a deal. But it's important to note that the price per square foot focus of this show does not take into account other things that are valued highly here in the villages, such as privacy, views, and location. So let's start by looking at all listings on the MLS. This week, as of today, 537 active listings. Last week, at the same time, 514, and a year ago, only 339. Currently, the lowest price home in the villages is 149.9. They have not reduced the price, been on the market 19 days. The most expensive home in the villages currently is just under 2,800,000, was originally 2,950,000, and it has been on the market 154 days. 537 listings is by far the highest number that we've seen. 3 years ago, when I started doing the show, the number was under 100. I'll give you my thoughts as to what all this data means at the end of the show, but for now, I'm going to give you all the facts and you can form your own opinions. Here we're looking at the median time on the market for all active listings. This week, 61 days. Last week, 62 days. A year ago, it was only 50 days. And it is worth noting that this is the first time in the last 3 or 4 years that we've seen the median time on the market remaining at 2 months or so for any period of time. Another popular chart, this is the median list price per square foot for all active listings on the MLS. Median is different from average. Average is the total of the value of all the listings divided by the number of listings. Median listing means there are as many listings priced above the median as below the median. This week, the median price for all listings is 257.70. This is the lowest number that we've seen. Last week it was 257.76. A year ago it was 262.10 a foot. Before we go any further, I've broken the villages down into 4 geographic regions so you can get some idea as to the difference between them, both in terms of how many properties are for sale and how much activity there is in each of these regions. The first area is the area that I'm calling the North. This is everything south of Highway 42 and north of Highway 466, and it includes Spanish Springs. This is the older area of the villages. The second area is the area that I'm calling the Mid-North. This is everything south of 466 and north of 466A. This area includes Lake Sumter Town Square and is probably still the single most popular of the 4 areas here. Primarily because from this location you can reach almost every town square fairly easily, even by golf cart. The third area is the area that I'm calling the Mid-South. This is everything south of 466A and north of Highway 44. And finally, the fourth area is the newest area of the villages. I'm calling this the South. This is everything south of Highway 44. So now that you understand the differences between the regions, let's take a look at how activity varies between them. We're not going to spend too much more time on listings, but I do want you to have some understanding of the differences between the regions. So let's start by taking a look at the villages as a whole. 537 active MLS listings this week. Sizes of homes range from 672 square feet to 3738, median size 1527. Prices range from 150,000 to just under 2.8 million. And on a per foot basis, prices in the villages currently range from 145 a foot to 749 a foot. This is the area that I'm calling the North. This is the most active area in the villages. 237 MLS listings this week. Sizes range from 672 square feet to 2,995 square feet, with the median size 1418. Prices from 150,000 to 879,000. And on a per foot basis, prices in the north range from $145 a foot to $387 a foot. This is the mid-north, the area south of 466 and north of 466A. Currently 156 active listings. Sizes range from 875 square feet to 3,000 square feet. Prices from 250,000 to just under $1,300,000. And on a per foot basis in the mid-north, prices range from $208 a foot to $561 a foot. This is the Mid-South, 78 active listings this week. Sizes range from 1,156 square feet to 3,738 square feet. Prices from 275,000 to just under $2,800,000. and on a per foot basis, the Mid-South has homes between 214 a foot and 749 a foot. And this is the South, 66 active listings this week. Sizes range from 828 square feet to 2450. Prices from 250,000 to 1,150,000. And on a per foot basis in the South, homes range from 226 a foot to 510 a foot. Now let's look at what's been happening in the market over the last week. We keep track of new listings and homes going pending. I think it gives us a good idea as to the state of the market. We can see how many properties have been added via new listings and how many properties have left the market via going pending. This week saw many more new listings than homes going pending. The graph is showing you a 4-week moving average, but the numbers you see are actual weekly data points. The last 7 days saw 52 new listings and 31 homes going pending. The previous week, 30 new listings and 32 homes going pending. Same week a year ago, 24 homes were listed and 32 homes went pending. And the previous chart gives rise to this one, which is just the difference between new listings and homes going pending. The zero line represents an equal number. Numbers above the zero line are more homes going pending than being listed, and below more new listings than homes going pending. Last week, 21 more homes were listed than went pending. The previous week, there were 2 more homes going pending than being listed. And last year, the same week, there were 8 more homes going pending than being listed. We are in what is generally the strongest selling season here in the villages, and traditionally between now and March or April, the number of new listings and the number of sales climbs quite dramatically. We are seeing new listings climb. Let's hope that we see homes going pending climb as well. We'll take a quick look at the homes going pending last week. This is the price change from the original asking price for those homes going pending. They had a median reduction of 2.97% from the original asking price. Previous week was a 3.45% reduction. Same week a year ago, a 4.76% reduction. This is the median price per square foot at which the homes went pending last week. 250.43 is the number. Previous week was only 245.68, and a year ago was as low as 239.91. Wanted to give you a visual representation of where the activity is here in the villages. So I'm starting with a map that's showing you all active listings. The second map is all properties that have gone pending over the last 60 days. You can see where they're located. You can see relative sizes and prices per square foot. This is the last 60 days. And finally, this map is showing you all properties that have closed over the last 60 days. Same rules apply, size and color representing size and price per square foot of the home. Once again, pending and sales, this is over the last 60 days. Now let's turn to sales, which this week really surprised, jumping to 49 closings last week compared to 32 the week before and only 19 for the same week a year ago. Last week, the lowest priced home to close was 219,000, originally almost 230, a 5% discount from the original asking price after 61 days on the market. The highest priced home closing last week, 865, originally 929,000, 7% discount from the original asking price after 70 days. And the biggest discount of the homes closing last week was a home that was originally listed for almost 500,000. It closed at 380,000 after 96 days on the market, and that was a 24% discount from the original asking price. And you can see on this seasonal graph what a strong week last week was. Here we're looking at how many sales per week. The x-axis on the bottom is weeks of the year, and the y-axis is number of sales per week. Last week, 49 homes closed, a big jump from 2023 when there were only 19 homes closing in the same week, and 2022 when there were only 17. And since the number of sales last week jumped so dramatically, the weeks of inventory here in the villages has dropped fairly dramatically. Currently, inventory and sales over the last week represent 11 weeks of inventory. The previous week was 16.1 weeks of inventory, and the same week a year ago, the inventory and sales represented almost 18 weeks of inventory. That big spike you see on the far right is the week of the Hurricane Milton, when I'm sure a lot of closings were canceled or delayed. This is the median price per square foot realized for the homes closing last week, 251 a foot. Previous week was 262 a foot, and the same week a year ago was only 253 a foot. I'm going to formulate this into an actual slide, but for now, this is to give you some idea as to where activity is in the villages. We're looking at price ranges. So, for example, in the price segment of homes under 200,000, there are currently 9 active listings. In the last 60 days, 3 have gone pending. If we look at the most active price segment, the $200,000 to $400,000 range, 280 active listings this week, 72 have gone pending in the last 60 days, and 153 have closed. In the million to $1.5 million price range, there are currently 11 active listings, 5 have gone pending, and 2 have closed. And here you can take a look at how prices per square foot vary based upon the actual total price of the home. So, for example, in the $200,000 to $400,000 price range, the most active price segment here, the least expensive price per square foot is 152, the most expensive 358, and the median 248. And there are 280 active listings currently this week. In the $600,000 to $800,000 range, by comparison, the least expensive per square foot is 236, the most 407, and the median 326. And there are 36 homes in that price segment. In the $1.5 million price range, $457 a square foot, the cheapest, $749 the most expensive, $460 the median price per square foot in the $1.5 million plus price range, and there are 3 active listings currently. So looking at all listings, once again, we're looking at what percentage of listings have reduced their asking price from the original list price. This week, 54% have. Last week, only 53.7% had. Same week a year ago, 55.46% had. The percentage of listings with a price reduction has been slowly rising for the last 3 weeks. And this is the actual decrease. The median decrease for active MLS listings this week is a 3.63% price reduction from the original asking price. Last week was a 3.45% reduction, and the same week a year ago, 3.56% reduction. I'll give you a summary as to what my thinking is from what we've seen this week. It seems to me that sellers are a little anxious this year, hoping that buyers reappear over the next 4 months for the height of the selling season. I don't know if they will arrive based on the number of homes closing last week. It certainly is encouraging to think that they might have already arrived, but we'll have to wait and see. A lot of people here in the villages are adopting a wait and see attitude. They really aren't aggressively price cutting unless they have to sell because a family member inherited the home or other reasons of that type. But it does seem as if things continue as normal here in the villages. We're a little bubble. A lot of people still want to move here, even if the national real estate market suffers a correction. It seems that with the volume of people who are looking to move to the villages, we should be okay. At least there aren't any signs yet, although the steady and relentless rise in the number of listings over the last 3 years certainly will give anybody pause. But as of today, there's no panic or worry here, and things continue as normal. If you're a buyer and you're looking for a good deal, please consider reaching out to me. I'll help you find one. And if you're a seller, similarly, please reach out to me at either DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. I'll be happy to either help you find the home you're looking for at the best possible price or help you sell the home and capture as much equity as you possibly can in a reasonable period of time. That is this week's show. If you find the information valuable, please consider liking it or subscribing to the channel. And if you want to reach me, once again, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com or DavidisinFlorida.com. If you have any questions about life in the villages, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Take care.